welcome and thank you all for joining us today for our prospect session. I am Sophie Hurd. I'm a talent acquisition coordinator here at Enterprise Mobility. And today this presentation and information session is just to give you a bit of a better idea of who Enterprise Mobility are as a company, and also the different opportunities that we provide to placement students and to graduates, and focusing on our management trainee programme. With me today, I have some great guests who have been part of Enterprise. They've been on our placement programme and now join us as campus brand managers. So I'm just going to ask them both to come off mute and just to introduce themselves if possible. So don't know if Priya, you want to go first, and then Max, you follow afterwards.
Yeah, of course. So I'm Priya, and I did my placement year with Enterprise at their claim support headquarters in Aldershot, and I was a accounting intern within the business management team.
Brilliant, thank you very much. Max, do you want to follow?
Hi, I'm Max. So I did my 12-month placement of Enterprise as part of the management trainee program. I did 6 months at High Wycombe, and then for the last 6 months I then went on to work at Heathrow Airport. And I'm currently doing right now a international business management degree at Henley Business School at the University of Reading.
Brilliant. Thank you both so much. And if you do have any questions for Priya or Max throughout the presentation, do feel free to pop them in the chat. And like I said, we will come to them at the end of the presentation if we haven't already answered them. So let's get into it then. So who are we? What is our vision? So Enterprise Mobility's vision is to be the most trusted mobility providing company. And we deliver this ambition by listening to and exceeding our customers' and employees' expectations, providing a wide variety of mobility solutions, offering a great place to work whilst cultivating fulfilling careers, working together to reach our fullest potential, and being responsible corporate citizen in the communities where we live and work. So these are just some of the foundations and the areas which we will explore further today in the presentation. We are also launching the organisation's first mission statement, which is to advance the world one journey at a time. So what does this mean? It means we invest in and we care about each other, our communities, and every individual journey. It is an important point of pride, distinction, and it's rooted in our origins. And it's what we will continue to drive in the future of our business. So what is Enterprise Mobility? And you can see underneath our Enterprise Mobility logo, we have several different business lines, some of which you might be familiar with. Some might be ones that you have yet to hear about. So you might know us best as Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We do have other sort of poignant business brands below as well. So you might see us as National and Alamo within our airport locations. We also have our exotic car rental branches as well, which is based out of Heathrow, where we do anything from like the Lamborghinis to the Rolls Royces, which are typically hired out to people like celebrities, used on different film sets. Sometimes they're used for state visits as well. Another thing to draw upon would be our Enterprise Flexi Rent division, which is our commercial side of the business, which kind of deals with our truck and lorries and vans rentals as well, which we hire out to big businesses. And we've also got other business lines such as Integral, which specialise in our software engineering. So as you can see, we've got quite a lot of brands underneath our hat. And this kind of leads us really nicely into our next slide, which would be our global footprint. So as I mentioned prior, you might know Enterprise as a car rental company, but we are in fact the world's largest car rental company. But we are more than that, as you can tell from the previous slide. So we are an industry leader in mobility and technology, as well as one of the top global travel companies. We manage the largest and most diversely privately owned fleet in the world, with more than 1.2 million vehicles. We operate in over 90,000 countries and territories. We have over 80,000 employees, which serve customers from more than 10,000 of our global branches. We have been privately owned for over 65 years by the Taylor family, who are based in St. Louis, and our financial strength and stability is unmatched in our industry. We are the only investment grade US-based car rental company. What does that kind of look like? That is over 30 billion FY23 revenues placed. So that actually put us within, we rated 9th among the Forbes list of the largest privately owned companies. But beyond all of this and beyond all of the numbers and where we're based, we are one of the largest recruiters of talented university graduates in the UK. So what's really important to us, as you can see, we are in lots of companies. We do really well with our revenue. We're really dedicated with our over 10,000 branches around the world. But with great power comes great responsibility, as someone once said. And that really lends its hand nicely into why we invest in our future. So Enterprise is really passionate about giving back to our local communities, and here are just some of the things that Enterprise get involved in. One that I really want to just touch on the screen is our 50 million tree pledge. So this was established in honour of Enterprise's 50th anniversary. So the 50 million tree pledge is a partnership with the Arbor Day Foundation to restore forest ecosystems. Basically give back to forests in the greatest need. So the initiative is to plant 50 million trees by 2056 throughout the US, United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, France, Germany and Spain. And as of 2022, 17 million trees have been planted through the Enterprise 50 million tree pledge. So just want to throw it over to Max and Priya. I don't know if you want to share any sort of experiences that you've had, be it any charities that you've been involved with within Enterprise, be it with yourself or maybe your local branch or your area. Oh, Priya, I think you're on mute.
Sorry. Yeah, so we have the My Purpose, My Time day, so the dedicated day that you can spend working with whatever charity that you like. So during my placement, I did a day at Chloe and Sophie's Ear Fund, which basically is a charity that works with helping deaf children and some adults as well. And so we spent the day in their warehouse sorting through like toys and things that people had donated and making sure that they were usable for reselling on their storefront. So that was really fun. We made a whole day of it. A few of the other people on my team came, and yeah, it was really kind of fulfilling.
Brilliant. No, that's so kind. And that's a really great point that you've touched upon, is that Enterprise is an employer that does want you to give back. And we do have the My Purpose, My Time, which is available to every employee, which Enterprise will give you a paid day off to go and serve your community in a way you best see fit, be it like what Priya's done, helping out with a different charity or donating to a food bank, working at a food bank. What about yourself, Max? Did you or any of your area or your branch get involved with anything to do with charity?
Yeah, so in the daily rental branches, the managers want the employees in the team to be involved with many charity initiatives as possible, because it can help, really bring the team together, and it's also a great way to give back to society. I knew in High Wycombe that some of the managers would go to local food banks in High Wycombe to help out there. And I also know some of the Heathrow management as well, and some Heathrow employees of mine. They also again went to the food banks and had days there. Also as well, Children in Need, that was a very big popular charity initiative that all the branches run globally. So the branches, so in my area in High Wycombe, we would have like group chat set up, and we'd have QR codes for each branch, and we could scan that and donate how much we wanted to Children in Need as a branch. But also we could also have it up for customers if any customer wanted to donate to Children in Need as well when they came in to see us. And there is another scheme as well which I got involved in. I can't remember what head office called it, but it was essentially where you had the option of giving away a small bit of your monthly salary to a charity of your choice, and then the company would match that and put on an addition donation on top of that as well. So I just decided to go down the route of Children in Need. So I think for my salary, it was just like £10 a month off my salary, which was like great, because then that was just going to Children in Need every month, and also Enterprise were also matching my donation as well. So yeah, so they had lots of different ways of being able to get involved with lots of different charities, and you can choose a charity as well. It doesn't have to be Children in Need. So yeah, the Enterprise Daily Rental in particular, they really want you to get involved in any charity that you see that you want to you're interested in essentially and want to invest in.
Brilliant. Thank you so much both for you to sharing your experiences that you've had getting involved with different charities and investing in our future, which leads us really nicely into our next slide, which really kind of talks about how everyone has a seat at our table here at Enterprise. We want you to come to work feeling like you can give your best and be your authentic self. And we've been recognised for doing that. So as you can see on the screen, to your right, we have been recognised as one of the top 50 employers for women in 2022 by the Times. We are also really involved with LGBTQ+, as highlighted by our Stonewall recognition as an inclusive employer, top 100 in 2023. We're also a disability confident employer, and we're also part of the Social Mobility Foundation, of which we have been recognised as a top 75 employer. So as you can see, we're really proud, and we think it's very important that everyone does have that right to have that seat at our table and have their voices and opinions heard. And don't just take it from me, take it from the testimonies that are on the screen here. So you've got our executive chairman, Andy, stating that Enterprise is fully committed to providing every employee within an inclusive workplace that offers respect, training and opportunities to succeed. Also, my colleague Romina here, part of talent acquisition, she has stated that Enterprise has really allowed her to showcase her skills and take her career into her own hands. So as a woman specifically with a physical disability, she's never felt more empowered than what she does at Enterprise, which I think is really lovely and just kind of highlights that part of our mission. Just again, throwing it back to yourself, Max and Priya, how has Enterprise given you a seat at our table? And have any of your team members been involved in any committees that has allowed you to take that voice further?
Yeah, actually. So in the ABS office, we had a diversity and diversity, equity and inclusion. And we took that like super seriously. There was always such a big emphasis on that. And one of my managers was actually head of that committee, making sure that the office was a diverse workplace. So we celebrated almost every major festival from all religious kind of parties. So I remember we had Diwali, we obviously celebrated Christmas, and then during Ramadan we also did stuff to make sure that the people that were fasting had everything they required. So yeah, that was one of the big things. And anytime that there was a big festival, it was kind of we had a extended lunch, and it was people brought in things that they'd made, or we'd go out to eat. So yeah, that was really fun to see.
That is amazing, and it's again highlights that sort of ethos that everyone does have a seat at our table, and no one should feel like when they're going through Ramadan that they're not being supported. And Enterprise does really well to bring every community together and kind of celebrate that as well. as we recognise that, you know, not two people are the same either, and we all have something that we can bring that's individual. Max, have you got anything that you'd like to add?
So when I was at Heathrow for the last 6 months of my placements, I think in the first month I actually joined back in February of this year. The branch were in the middle of celebrating LGBTQ plus month. They had opportunities where if any employees in the branch wanted to be involved in the parades that were happening in Brighton and London, they could, as Enterprise were involved in those. And they also had merchandise as well that we could wear as employees to show our support. So we had like lanyards and wristbands and stuff basically that we could wear if we wanted to show our support, and also stuff we can give to customers as well if they wanted to show their support as well. Again, we also had something with Black History Month. So we had a few posters up around the office, and also as well some people to come and to talk to us as well about that. But there were being part of Heathrow Airport, where there's a huge international workforce, and people from all over the world working there. It really did help showcase the kind of global diversity the company has, and it also gives you a great opportunity to embrace different cultures and learn about different religions all around the world as well. So that was something that I found really interesting, and and was really happy to be involved in as well.
Brilliant. Again, thank you both so much for sharing your experiences, and hopefully we have highlighted the importance that we hold in investing in our future and making sure that everyone does have a seat at our table. Again, this moves really nicely into our development and what we do for our employees, because each and every employee's career journey is unique, as are the people that join our company. We all have different ambitions, and we are encouraging people to bring them to their daily work. So they are met along the way with unlimited possibilities and a support system to flourish and grow and advance. So one of Enterprise Mobility's greatest strengths as an organisation is our promote from within culture. So with a wide range of job opportunities across our business functions, Enterprise Mobility offers employees the chance to change careers without having to change companies. We empower the team with opportunities for growth by enabling inclusion in our culture, values and vision. So last year, as you can see on the screen, more than 20,000 of our employees across various positions were promoted or took on new challenges within the company. And in fact, the majority of our senior leadership team actually started out on our management trainee programme, up into and including our president and CEO, Chrissy Taylor. So we all have that shared experience, well, most of us do in the business, and we were really focus on that promote from within culture. So let's have a deep dive into our management trainee programme here at Enterprise. As mentioned in the previous slide, our CEO and president, Chrissy Taylor, who is the granddaughter of our founder, Jack Taylor, actually started off on our management trainee programme. And what is really great about the programme is most people do start off on the management trainee programme. There are a few people such as Priya that might have started in a different department, but most of us do have this sort of shared experience of being a management trainee and being part of Enterprise Rent-A-Car's rental division. So what are 5 reasons to be a management trainee? So number 1 is you will acquire a great business understanding. So it's a bit of context for myself. I did my undergrad in drama and theatre. I joined Enterprise as a management trainee, not really knowing a lot about business. I had a customer service background as I worked in retail throughout my 6th form, and also whilst I was in uni, whilst I was studying. So my business understanding maybe wasn't wasn't that great. But what Enterprise really allowed me to do, coming in as a management trainee, I learned everything that I needed to know to run the business within the first sort of 10 to 12 months of being a management trainee. So that is, you know, really understanding our profit and loss, how we deal with that, understanding different business functions, to how we deal with our customer service, how we deal with our sales, and also how we deal with different aspects of our rental division, which goes beyond just being within our rental branches. So I'm going to ask Max now, when you joined as a management trainee, as a placement student, what kind of business understanding did you have, and how did that kind of develop over the sort of 10 to 12 months that you were with us as a placement? Maybe talking about, you know, people that used to come in from other aspects of our business, maybe within our risk department, and how they kind of educated you in a wider business understanding.
Yeah, so so when I first joined my placements, sat down with the branch manager at High Wycombe and was given an overlay of what we both wanted out of this, and also my my plan as well for the 12 months I was going to be at the company. So it's useful because when you first join the company, there's a whole load of information thrown at you. There's a lot of enterprise terminology and a lot of business terminology that you might not have come across before. But one of the things that was really good that aided my development was it was broken down into stages. And these stages were also assisted by head office training, which was planned out. So you have 2-month, 5-month, or 7-month training where you would actually go into enterprise head office for me, which was in Staines, and you would have a chance to be able to meet other placement students and also graduates as well, also in the same position as you, and speak to them, and also almost have another kind of refresher course by the human resources department as well. And then along that as well, so they kind of break down the stages. So the first bit for me was learning about customer service and all the roles and things you need to know about that. And then more later on, we then learned about the risk side of the business. So learning about the different types of rental contracts we offer customers and different protections as well. And then I moved on to financial statements. So being able to look at a financial statement and know what every column means and how we can drive certain columns, whether it be revenue or trying to drive down costs. But there was a real clear plan of how they want you to progress, and it does help you in the end because towards the end of my placement, they want you to sit down and do a management qualification interview, which is a way of being able to showcase everything that you've learned about the company, and especially during the last 6 months when I was at Heathrow in particular, I was able to really ramp up my learning as I had a better understanding of the business at that point. And it gave me a greater appreciation of the company that Enterprise is today.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for touching on all of that. The next sort of reason that you'd want to join us as a management trainee would be to develop those professional skills. Again, just drawing on my own personal experience, I did have a retail background, but in terms of my professional skills, it was very sort of limited to what I'd learned. Just, you know, working on a till, dealing with customers, just by serving them and telling them a bit about the products that we have available. But in terms of professional skills, what's really great about being a management trainee is that you will be speaking to people from all walks of life, be it our customers, be it the people that within our rental branches, such as your peers, your assistant manager, your branch manager, area manager and up, but you'll also be speaking to people from different aspects of our business as well. They'll come in from different departments, maybe it's our head office, maybe it's our risk departments, etc. So you really are honing in on those professional skills. I'm just going to ask Priya, although you weren't a management trainee, within your role as a placement student with the EBS side of our business, you would have been given the opportunity to really develop those professional skills whilst you were with us. Do you want to maybe touch upon like how valuable that was to you, and maybe give some examples where you were kind of stretched to really develop those professional skills?
Yeah, of course. So as part of the intern program, one of the things that they give us the opportunity to do is compete in the Intern of the Year competition. So it's all across the UK. And the idea is that you create a presentation about a business idea that could help grow the business. And then you also talk about what you've done while at your placement in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and charity work and things like that. So there's 2 rounds to the competition. So you have to first present to your regional manager. So in my case, it was the head of the business management team, our financial controller, and then you go to UK99 to present in front of a various panel. And yeah, it was a lot of fun, but it really pushed you to kind of work on those communication, presentation skills. And during the UK99 finals, there was also like a networking lunch, so you had the opportunity to kind of meet a lot of senior people and see how they kind of climbed up the ladder and things like that. But also a lot of like analytical and data collection skills, because you had to kind of show how you could grow this business idea and how it would impact the business. So yeah, that was one of the things that I still talk about to this day. A lot of skills that I picked up during that competition.
Brilliant. Thank you so much for touching upon that, and kind of leads us really nicely into the third reason why you should join us as a management trainee, which would be to grow relationships. So growing relationships goes a lot beyond the relationships that you form with your peers and the people that you work with in the branch, but it also extends to our business partners that we work with. So part of your role would be to cultivate relationships with business, is particularly in your local area, as we do provide a lot of services for them, and also with other departments that go outside of our rental divisions as well. I'm going to ask both of you this because you will have had very similar but very different experiences being, you know, on the management trainee program and on the internship program. When you were, you know, growing these relationships with people, what was the most valuable from it? Was it the networking? Was it the chance to make a friend at work? And how did that really help you whilst you were on your placements?
I would say obviously the networking part was amazing, and you get to meet a lot of like amazing people. But for me, it was definitely like when you know what someone does within the company, especially in my role, there's a lot of different kind of things that I need. And when I know people, it makes my job a lot easier, because if we have issues with like anything, then I know who to go to for that. And also as part of my internship, I took on like a lot of internal auditing, so it's really nice to know kind of who heads up what department, who are their kind of supervisors, who do I need to reach out to for what things. And we were given a lot of opportunities to meet a lot of different people, and as time went on and I met more and more people, it was definitely easier for me, because I could be like, oh, this person works for this, so they can help me with whatever I needed.
Brilliant. Max, do you want to talk about maybe some of the relationships that you made with local businesses and how that really helped you on your placement?
Yeah, so more of my time at High Wycombe, we were always in contact with our corporate accounts. So at the daily rental branches that aren't airports, nearly half, if not more than half, of our business comes from our corporate account bookings, and also our insurance bookings as well. Corporate side, in terms of maintaining those relationships was really important to be on top of, because these are the guys who are bringing in income to the branch. So making sure that we're on top of the needs of the corporate clients, and also as well our relationships with our dealerships and the people that actually repair our cars, as when cars need repairing or they need servicing. it's really important that we can go to these guys with a strong relationship, knowing that we'll be able to get a strong turnaround quickly. And we did little things as well to show our appreciation and help build that relationship building, like bringing donuts around to local corporate businesses. And again, small gestures that can go a very long way. And it's something that you can actually take with you, beyond your role in daily rental and to other avenues of enterprise as well. If you need to grow relationships, as small gestures can go a very long way for people, and sometimes they can go a bit under the radar today, but actually making a small initiative does make a huge difference, whether you think it or not.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. And it is so important that when you do join us as a management trainee, not only do you get to grow those relationships with your peers and people within our company, but that also extends to outside. What's a really, really great thing when you join us part of enterprise and also as a management trainee is that you get this really great support system. We will give you an official mentor, but you'll also get those unofficial mentors throughout your time with us at enterprise. And what's really comforting to know is like, as I mentioned in previous slides, the majority of our company and the members in our company join us as a management trainee, and then have worked their way all up and up and up. So we all have this sort of shared experience, which really does create that really strong foundations for a support system, knowing that you could go to theoretically anyone in the company and ask for advice and support is really important to us. Kind of lends its fact into, yes, our doors are always open as one of our founding values, but extends beyond customers. It also extends to how we deal with our employees in-house as well. And fifth and finally, what's another great reason to be a management trainee is that you get rewards, and what enterprise love doing and what our branches love doing and our rental divisions and other aspects of our business is rewarding people for their hard work. We work hard, we reward hard work. I'm going to stop talking now and I'm going to throw it back over to Max and Priya, because I'm sure you've got some really great stories of times where you've been rewarded for hard work. And I'd really like it if you could share some of those with us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think the biggest reward would definitely be, like I mentioned, the Intern of the Year. We got a cash prize for that. I want to say it was like 450 or something for third place. But then outside of that, there were a lot of like team rewards as well. So every time we got a clean audit score, it would be this big kind of event that we did. So last year it was this barbecue where we had the whole team and family and friends as well, and it was great weather, so we like went outside and did games, and that was really nice. And then this year it was a day at the races, so we went to the Windsor race course, spent like a considerable amount of time there, and again it was like the whole team, really nice. And every kind of month we do try and have one big team social, whether that's we did pottery painting one time, we did laser tag one time, there were talks of doing the Ninja Warrior kind of course thing, so we really kind of keep it interesting. We do have the normal kind of like team dinners, but we try and like change it up. So yeah, plenty of rewards in ABS.
Brilliant. Max, do you want to talk about some of the times that you have been rewarded and what we do within our rental operations?
Yeah, so in daily rental, there's a huge amount of rewards and bonuses that you can earn as a management trainee. So it could be both financial and non-financial. So for me, when I was working in the branches, there were a lot of bonuses up for grabs if you could achieve your target in customer service. So particularly much and so many customers coming through our doors, management really wanted us to put a big focus on delivering excellent customer service, and then more importantly getting our customers to fill out our surveys and saying that they were completely satisfied with the service they received, and there was nothing else we could have done to have improved their experience any further. So knowing that we've done our best with service, and to show their appreciation for that. They had competitions where if you could get the most amount of name mentions in a week on the surveys for people commending your service, they would pay you a very impressive bonus, which was always, really a really competitive environment to Heathrow, because everyone was always, like trying to go for it. And also as well, particularly Heathrow, anything that we could sell, like any vehicle upgrades or anything that we could add on to try and make a customer's rental experience a bit more memorable, we would also be rewarded on commission as well. So I always told people that, at Enterprise, if you can, work really hard and you can, take opportunities with both hands, not only will you enjoy yourself, but you can also make, a lot of money as well. And even with like non-rewards as well, like non-financial awards, for like area nights out, we'd be having trips to like Fort Park, for example. I know we did one last week where we took the team out to Fort Park to say thank you. I've also been to like Ninja Warrior before for a kind of team bonding session as well. So in terms of rewards for management trainees and daily rental, there's a huge amount up for grabs, and it can be really fun to be involved with, but also very beneficial to you as well.
Great, thank you both for sharing your experiences, and I hope that highlights, the 5 reasons to be a management trainee within our business. And we have been recognised for providing a great opportunity for graduates and placement students. So we are in the Times Top 100 Graduate Employers, and we also came 2nd place in the Rate My Placement Awards this year out of 100 student employers. So we do great things and we get recognised for our achievements. So hopefully we've given you a bit of an overview as to what life is like at Enterprise, the different things that we get involved in, and also a little bit more about our management trainee programme and why it is such a great and exciting opportunity. So here is a bit of an overview of the application process. So you'd submit an online application to us via one of our careers websites. So it's careers.enterprise.co.uk for the UK, and careers.enterprise.ie for the Irish website. We do not require a minimum grade, and we do not ask for a specific subject studied. As mentioned, I did a drama degree, was very successful on the management trainee programme. We believe that every degree and every experience has something different to offer and is equally as valuable. After that, providing that your application has been successful, you'd be invited to a virtual interview with a member of the talent acquisition team, where we'd want to find out a little bit more about you and gain a deeper understanding of the different competencies that you have. Again, if you're successful there, you'll be invited into our branch visit. So this is a very unique opportunity for you to meet some of our branch colleagues and to experience what life is really like as a management trainee at Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Hopefully, providing you've done all of that, you've been successful, you would be asked to join us on the management trainee programme as a graduate student or as a placement student. Just going to ask Max now, in terms of the branch visit, what was really great about actually coming into one of our local branches, and how did that kind of enhance your application process?
So when I applied and I went through the various stages, as you mentioned, my branch visit was to Watford. So they invited me down to the Watford branch to go and meet the area manager. I have to say it was a really memorable trip, because when I sat down with him and I met through the whole team, it was a case of, it was a very friendly and fun place to work, and everyone seemed to really be enjoying themselves. And when I spoke to the manager as well, I think one of the things that for me stood out in the recruitment process was, having applied to loads and loads and loads of placement companies and not thinking by the time I got to April that I actually might not be doing a placement. When I went to Enterprise, the thing I liked the most was it's all very human orientated, and there's no kind of like formal procedure in place in a way. So like I've been to places where it's only just been like 2 people in a room and a very long desk, whereas here it was like they just wanted just have an informal chat with me, just talk about my previous experiences, and also an opportunity for me to ask any questions I had about the role. And so it was a really great branch visit, and the colleagues there just told me what they got up to, what the daily roles were, and how they were finding it. That we spoke later on, and then got a phone call the next day saying they'd like me to come and join the company.
That's brilliant. Thank you for sharing that experience with us. So, I mean, our formula is very simple. We hire smart, passionate, and talented people. They come in, they make our customers really happy, which means our customers return. And then people say amazing things about us, which means there's more customers and therefore more growth. The growth means that there is more branches and there's more opportunities. And those people that we hired that helped us grow, well, they get to level up, they get to those promotions, which means it's time to add more talent to our team. So quickly, what kind of skills will you get whilst on our management training program? You will gain great communication skills because you will be speaking to a wide variety of different people from different backgrounds. We'll be really honing in on your customer service. Again, with that communication, you'll be speaking to people that might have been involved in an accident, that might be renting for different circumstances. And it's really about having that adaptability to provide that great customer service. You'll also gain some really important time management skills. No 1-2 days are the same at Enterprise, and it's important to really manage your time to deliver that excellent customer service piece, which also comes down to that communication, being upfront and honest with our customers. You'll get great leadership skills. From the day one of being in our business, you'll be empowered to make your own decisions and really have that impact. Being asked your opinion, you'll be able to identify opportunities for improvement that you'll be able to implement yourself and get the team involved with. So we do really encourage you to develop on those leadership skills from the very first day all the way through to the end of the management trainee scheme. You'll develop that really great sense of emotional intelligence as well, not only with our customers that may be renting from us due to an accident, like I've said, and they need a replacement vehicle and maybe aren't the happiest that, their car has been damaged, but also with that leadership, knowing that one day you might be a manager and that you need to be able to manage your team. And if your team aren't feeling too great on one day, what are you going to do to improve that working environment for them? Again, you're going to be really focusing on developing those marketing and sales techniques as well. Part of our role is making sales. It is going out into local businesses and telling people about what we do as part of Enterprise and offering our services. So you'll be really focusing on how we best market ourselves, both personally and as a business, and also what kind of sales can we make that will really enhance the experience of our customers. You'll be doing a lot of problem solving. As I said, no 1-2 days are the same at Enterprise, and sometimes problems arise, and it's how do we overcome those problems effectively and quickly. So it means that our customer service still remains really high and that we're still functioning to the best of our abilities. And finally, it's about being adaptable. Again, a lot can change. So are you adaptable? Are you able to, change quickly? Are you able to find those solutions? So all of these skills are really important, and they're all skills that you will learn and develop whilst you're an employee here at Enterprise. And who will you work with as a management trainee? You'll be working with our area managers. Not many businesses will give you the sort of opportunity to spend as much time with your area manager as what you do at Enterprise. And they'll be very on hand to help you with any sort of development, any encouragement, areas of improvement as well. But daily, you'll be working with your branch managers, your assistant manager, and also your customer and business partners. As mentioned, we deal with a lot of customers that are also from local businesses. So again, you'll be working with all of these peoples on the daily. Just to touch on, as we come towards the end of the presentation, we have our 8 core values, and these are at the heart of what we do every single day here at Enterprise. Feel free to have a read of them on the screen, but I think it's really important that I, ask yourself, Max and Priya, what is the most important value to you? What is the one that stands out to you? Maybe it was something that actually encouraged you to apply to Enterprise and to the management trainee program. And why is it so important to you?
For me personally, I would have to say our organisation is a fun and friendly place to work where teamwork rules, because obviously you see the teamwork kind of value a lot in a lot of different companies, but and I always say to people, I feel like that is something that's taken very seriously at Enterprise, and you never ever have any trouble reaching out to anyone. You know that they will help. They'll never be like, oh, this person's too senior to help me. It's never that case. If they can help, they will. And in the rare chance they can't help, they'll point you in the direction of someone who will help. But also just in the department, like we had an amazing team. Everyone got on. And I always say that I have no qualms about the teamwork and the people that work there. Yeah, I couldn't rave about it more.
That's so nice to hear. And what about yourself, Max?
I think for me, the value that stood out most was our doors are always open. I think when I joined the company, what for me was a priority was I wanted to make sure that there were lots of opportunities to explore within the company. And, with Enterprise being, one of the fastest growing companies, in the world right now, and the firm is just constantly getting bigger. When I look at the various departments and routes you can go down, I really can't think of an employer that kind of offers that much, that flexibility and variety in the different routes you can take. So I know that when I looked at it and they were speaking me through about what the management trainee path looked like, they kind of told me, look, once you get to a certain position in the business, if you wanted to venture off and go work in the marketing departments at Enterprise or the sales departments or the risk departments or the human resource departments, they were very viable career routes you can take, which is also great as well, because if you wanted to try something new, you can actually do it within the same company. And again, even with my placement, so when I was at High Wycombe and I wanted a challenge, when the Heathrow Airport leadership program came up and there was a chance to work at, the biggest flagship rental branch across Europe, I really wanted to go for it and take advantage of it. And with the help of my managers, they facilitated my transfer. And now, I can say on my CV that, I've had experience working at, a huge team and an operation that's, a Europe leading in the rental industry. So, so I think for me, the opportunities that Enterprise offers, you just can't compare to any other company in the world, personally.
Thank you both for sharing that. And yeah, it's really important because all of these values are core to what we do every day. We like to keep it social here, so please do feel free to connect with us on our Facebook, our Instagram, our LinkedIn, and also YouTube, where you'll find more videos like this. And finally, if you want to learn more about the management trainee programme, our careers websites are detailed here for the UK and Ireland site. And also, if you wanted to get in contact with me personally, you can find me on LinkedIn under Sophie Heard. And my email is also on the screen there, which I'll keep up for a few minutes. But I just wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone that has joined us today on the call. I hope that you found this session really informative and you got a better understanding as to who we are at Enterprise and also our management trainee programme, and also about the different placements that we offer as well. I am going to open up the floor to any questions. If anyone has any, do feel free to pop them in the chat if we haven't answered your question already. But yes, thank you very much. And also thank you to Max and Priya, who have given up their time today to have a chat with us. It is really appreciated. So I'm just going to have a quick look in the chat. So are you able to ask where you would be located is one of the questions. So when you apply to Enterprise, you'll be applying to a area. So there'll be different locations within the area. So what we do is we try and place you within a 45-minute commute maximum to your first branch, but being open to a bit of travel will also really help you with opportunities, because like Max has touched upon, he was able to go to various branches and get different experiences. So you are allowed to ask where you'd be like to be located, and we'll do our best to pop you in that place, but it's never a guarantee. We also have another question about the pay. The pay is completely dependent upon your placement, and also different locations that we offer on the management trainee program. So if you were to apply to the position, my biggest advice would be to reach out to your talent acquisition professional that you're dealing with, who's setting up your interviews, and they'll be able to give you a bit more information as to the pay. Any more questions? Any questions specifically for Max or Priya?
I think just to add on the location question as well. So from my previous experience, my degree is at Reading University right now, and I live just outside of Oxford. So when I applied, bear in mind it was quite late on as well, actually. So it was actually more like March, April time when I actually sent in my application form. The talent acquisition person I was dealing with reached out to me and said, look, the Reading branches there, we haven't got any vacancies available now, and in Oxford and in the Didcot area they didn't have any either. But what we did try and do, which was really helpful, was we did try to give me other solutions, saying, look, there's a position open in High Wycombe, it's a little bit further from you, but we've looked at the journeys and actually it's not too bad. So we do offer lots of flexibility as well, and we do definitely want to try and help you and make sure that, you know, if it's the case of your branch, your area hasn't got any vacancies, but doesn't necessarily mean that you still can't apply and join the company, because there will be other branches that might have other options and might actually turn out to be better as well.
That's a really great point, and thank you for sharing that as well. I think that's really important to know. And there's also another question here that I think you might be a good person to ask Max is, do we work all the time in the branch, or do we need to travel during the working hours?
So I worked at an airport and a non-airport location. So at the non-airport location at High Wycombe for me, so essentially my day was you do drive in to the office, and there will be a place for you to park your car. I would say you spend half your day in the office, whether it be like writing on rental contracts for customers, answering the phone, doing some admin work, and then the other half of the time we do need to like deliver vehicles sometimes as well for our corporate insurance customers. So sometimes I'll be asked to drive certain vehicles to different addresses with the rest of my team. So it's a bit 50-50, so you're not always in the office, and actually for me that was actually quite a fun part of the job as well, because I'm a very fidgety person, and I really can't sit still for that long. So so for me, being able to actually just get outside the office and just be on the roads just kind of just keeps it, you know, not being the same all the time, which really helps. I mean, I love my cars. I really love the different types of cars. So, you know, you get to drive a huge amount of vehicles, which is, you know, a lot of fun as well. And then at the airports, so whilst it is, I would say, a bit more in office, for airports at Heathrow, for example, we are always outside. So for me, my day was essentially just always out in the car park, helping customers, writing up rental contracts, assisting in returns of vehicles. But there also would be some office work as well. So we'll be answering customer emails and trying to solve customer inquiries or any queries they might have had about their rental, or any people that weren't happy, and finding a way how we can resolve it. And there was also like various team meetings we had to attend in terms of any objectives for the day or anything that management wanted us to have a refresher on if something has occurred in the last week or so. So yeah, so a day is not static. It's very, very constantly moving, and you're not always doing the same thing every single day, which again is like really fun, and it doesn't become boring essentially.
No, that's brilliant. I think that's really important to highlight as well, especially when I was a management trainee, is that, you know, you will be out and about sometimes. Some days will be a lot busier than others as well. But, you know, your branch manager will always make sure that you do have that time in the office to be getting on with your training folder, to be having that sort of face-to-face interaction with customers that do come into the branch. But I do think that it's really it does really break your day up, to be fair, going and visiting different businesses, because you do get that networking in there. And also you get a better, insight into how we deal with like different contracts on the roll, because it is very independent learning. And yeah, you do get the chance to obviously get to know your colleagues a little bit better when you're in the car as well. So overall, it is a positive. I don't believe that we've got any more questions that are in the chat. So if anyone has any final questions that they want to pop in, or that can be answered in the next sort of minute or so. If not, I think it's just, again, a final thank you to you all that have been on the call. I hope it's been really informative. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to email me, message me on LinkedIn, reach out to any of the people that are on here. But again, thank you both so much, Priya and Max, for being on here today. It's really valuable for you to share your insights. I think that's everything from me. Have a lovely rest of your day. Good luck with the application process, and yeah, all the best for the future.